Shit, look clean to me.
Holly made this beat, baby.
Oh, hey. Welcome to another episode of Kicking It with Keisha, Casey, and Vonnie. That's me, and this is Keisha.
Hey, I'm Keisha.
And today we have a great show for you today. We have Mr. Lavish T. Williams. Yay.
That's right.
That's right. So, a couple things about Lavish before we dive into everything. He is a tow truck owner, comedian, political figure, and a biker, amongst other things. Anything else you want to add to that?
I would say comedian. I'm just, you know,
He just funny.
I'm not even funny. I just, take my chance. Take my chances. That was the thing that I did. I just got up on stage one day, and it just did something. I live out my dreams.
Okay.
So that was something I said I wanted to do.
So was it something
I
like
did
on
it.
your bucket list or something like that?
Yeah, you can say that.
All right,
Like
I
a bucket
that.
list type of thing. It take a lot of guts for somebody to stand in front of a whole bunch of strangers and
Right.
try to be funny. So it's like, go ahead and do it.
You might as well.
Yeah. I mean, you only live like once, so.
Yeah, you only live once. YOLO. Okay, so another thing is, so you're a political figure, right? So you ran for, what did you run for? What?
I ran for Detroit Police Commissioner for District 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And District 2 covers what area?
District 2 is primarily the west side.
Okay.
However, it starts at like 8 Mile and John R. And it goes all the way west down to 8 Mile and Southfield.
Okay.
Back up 6 Mile and Southfield. Back down across Hubble to like, and it's funny the way that the borders is because it's like maybe Mark Twain.
Right.
And then you go up, across Spinkle, and then it's like zigzags, near Davidson. But yeah, District 2, that's it.
So a lot of
In that area, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that?
It was, I think it's a calling for everything. Some things you don't really go searching for.
It just comes.
It just come to you.
That's
A
right.
police commissioner? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big thing from, being funny, wanting to get on the mic to.
Well, that whole mic thing just happened this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that wasn't nothing. Like, I never had no ambitions to, hey, I want to be a comedian. I want to get up in here because I'm not a comedian. That's just something I did as a hobby or something to do just to do it.
So what are you?
Me, I'm a man of many talents. I'm a man of many talents. I'm a Renaissance man.
Okay.
You know?
We have a Renaissance
Yeah,
man on the show
Renaissance
today.
Better get you one.
man. Yeah. I'm that guy that I'm an explorer.
Mhm.
I don't stay trapped in a box. I live life and I enjoy it and I take risks. I'm a risk taker.
Okay.
I take chances. Because if we don't take risks and we don't take chances, we don't know what the world has to really offer us.
Chances to make champions.
Right.
You have some people they don't want to work for somebody for the rest of their life. However, they scared to take risks with their money.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you don't take risks and you constantly hold on to it, you always work for somebody.
Yes.
You got some people that, hey, I really want to ride a motorcycle, but I'm scared I might fall.
Mhm.
So they don't take
So
the
you don't
risk.
Take the risk. I get that.
So I take the risk. I take the challenge.
And you grew up in Detroit?
Puritan Avenue.
PA.
PA. Yay.
We were just talking about how Detroiters just exude a certain type of strength. Like Detroiters are just strong, and for some reason, we all have like a hustle bag.
Definitely. I mean, Detroit, I can't speak on any other city, but for me, Detroit is my home. Detroit is the home of hustlers.
Okay.
They say we hustle harder. So we can't argue about that.
We do.
Okay. So now tow truck driving, are you still into that, or is that something
Yeah, I'm still into that. That's like, that's like the primary.
Mhm.
Towing cars, that's the breadwinner.
Okay.
You know, towing cars is what made Lavish the Lavish that he is today.
Okay.
And Lavish, that's your given name, or
That's my name.
that's
See?
your name?
So with a name like that, you know you're destined,
Yeah.
right? You know, because it means elaborate.
It's a
luxurious.
lifestyle.
Yes, it is. It's a
You know,
lifestyle.
it's a lifestyle. Already.
Okay. So you have the tow truck company, and then you also, so the towing company is called Lavish T.
Lavish,
Towing,
nope, just Lavish towing.
just Lavish Towing, and then you also have a car.
Lavish car wash.
Okay. Is that open right now, or can
You know what? So I'm a businessman, right? And the car wash is cool. I don't knock anybody that owns a car wash, you know, and I say that because of what I'm about to say, that the car wash business for me is not a lucrative business.
Okay.
And when it comes down to dollars and cents, it's easier for me to rent my place out.
Right.
I don't have time to sit in there and wash cars. That's not my passion. That's not my hobby. That's not my drive. I admire anybody that has a car wash and they operate their car wash because they have to have a passion to actually be in there washing the car. The money doesn't add up for me.
That's just like an extra hustle.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hustle, in a sense.
It's an extra hustle for extra income that could possibly come in, but then it's also a place where I store my vehicles.
Okay.
That's really in a nutshell. I got a place to store my vehicles. If I want to sit and hang out, because I don't want people at my house, I got a building I can do that at. But as far as financial, the car wash business, not a hand car wash, not for real, not from my perspective.
Right.
When you put the towing and the car wash stuff together, you know, I'm sitting in the truck hitting a button. I ain't got time to be hearing you talk about, well, my windows got streaks in there. I ain't got time for none of that.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So you on the podcast also, right?
Yeah. I got a podcast, and I talk about a lot of different things on the podcast. It's like I got a podcast, but I got different types of podcasts.
Right.
You know, I talk about biker stuff.
Okay.
So I got a biker podcast. Then I got a podcast with Coco. And me and Coco talk about stuff. And then I podcast by myself about any random things that come to mind, as well as getting out in the streets, hustling the camera and the microphone.
And you on the radio too, right?
I'm on the radio too.
So which one do you like better? Do you like the podcast or like talk radio?
Talk radio is cool, but I like the podcast better.
Okay.
I like the podcast better because you can be more yourself. You can be more relaxed, free flowing,
Right.
and you cater it to your group of people.
Tell people what the name of your podcast is.
The name of my podcast is Lavish Everything. I mean, like everything you got to do is
Everything
always
lavish.
going to be lavish, you know. But I don't really have a name. Lavish Biker Podcast, you know, Lavish and Coco Podcast. But if you
Okay.
want to see any of the podcasting, it's all on social media under Lavish T Williams.
Okay.
That's the name on all social media platforms.
Yeah.
So if you go on YouTube, you check out Lavish T Williams, and I got them by playlists.
Okay.
So if you're into motorcycles, you don't have to hear me and Coco talking about nothing.
Okay.
Go to the playlist, it's all bike stuff.
Okay.
If you don't care about motorcycle stuff, you want to hear just Lavish and Coco or whatever, I got a playlist. It's all organized. You know, just so I can cut the time that a person is scanning, looking, you know, for a video or whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the radio station? How can they listen to that? Is that on social media as well?
The radio station is actually AM radio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually AM radio, and they can just tune in on AM radio to listen.
Which station? AM
910,
AM 910. And you can listen
Yeah.
to Lavish.
AM 910.
Now, what's the radio station? You playing music, or is it like
No,
a
talk
news
radio.
segment?
Talk radio.
Okay.
Talk radio. Strictly talk radio. So, talk current events, politics, just talk radio.
Now, how did you get into doing like the podcasting and the radio?
I got into it really because I like to talk trash a lot. That's it. You know, that's really it. Yeah, to the fullest. So what ended up happening? I ain't know nothing about podcasting, none of that kind of stuff. I didn't know what a podcast was. I heard the name podcast, this podcast, and so I'm like, well, I don't know nothing about that stuff. But I was already going live on my phone,
Okay.
but I didn't know what a podcast was. Before live came out, I was already recording like
Right.
stuff, uploading it on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but I still ain't know what a podcast was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started to like figure out what a podcast was, I'm like, oh, that's a podcast. All this time I've been hearing like this person got a podcast.
Right. Well, you
I'd
already
be like, oh, I don't know what that is. So I never had no reason to really look into it because I heard the name podcast. It just didn't sound cool.
Right.
It didn't sound like something
Something you were doing.
that's something I would look into.
Right.
It's like podcast. It don't sound like nothing got to do with media. Don't sound like nothing got to do with cameras talking to people. So someone
At you.
not look at
Not look at you.
not look at me. So I got all the equipment, did the podcast thing, and what I originally wanted to do with podcasts is totally opposite of what I'm doing now. Because I really wanted to get on the podcast, and I just wanted to talk trash, kind of like a Howard Stern type of show.
Yeah.
That was it. Talk about random crazy stuff. Talk about people, laugh at people, cap on people, pull up stuff all over the internet. That's what I originally wanted to do. That was the whole purpose of the
And we
podcast.
changed the direction of the show. We might.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. And when I got the equipment, and I was figuring out with the world because I was going live with it. Like, hey, I'm testing this. Can you hear me on the microphone?
Mhm.
Somebody reached out to me like, hey, listen, I want to do a podcast with you about some school. I said, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, but let's try it. Let's work it out together. And that was the first thing I did with a person was talking about education,
Oh,
which wasn't something I really wanted to do. But it was like, who else I want to interview? Talk to it. They reached out to me. We talked about it. I was kind of red, or should I say green.
okay.
And, my words was kind of like stuttering because I got a whole camera in front of me. I'm live and I'm trying to be serious. And I'm like, oh, man. Then my friends, they texted me, like, loosen up, dog. You're too stiff.
Right.
Like,
That's
dog,
what happens.
You can move your head. So I'm sitting there and they say, like, dog, just relax. You too tensed up.
So now when you look back, you're like, dang, that's growth. Like compared
You know
to
what? I don't even.
here
This
now,
is the
it's
crazy
like,
part about it. I don't even look at it. After I get done with the podcast, I don't ever look back at it.
Oh, wow.
I move on to the next. Only time I go back is if someone called me and said, hey, go check this part out. Other than that, I don't keep up with
So you're an actor too. How about I'm sitting on my couch watching a movie and I'm like,
it.
hold on. I'm like, I don't know. Is that him?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple roles in some of the movies. Some of the movies that's out. Some of the movies, local based movies. So they showed me a lot of love, different directors of these movies.
Okay. Like they're on Tubi or.
Yeah, they all on Tubi. Detroit, they winning right now. Detroit
Sure.
with the Tubi movies, they putting out, man, they putting out movies back to back. I feel like Detroit on the map. When
Yes,
you do go
definitely.
on Tubi and you just look at their home screen, you just see so many Detroit movies off top. I don't know if it's going by like the area that you in, but whatever it is, Detroit,
We up there.
we up there.
Yes. We win.
They doing their thing.
McGraw and
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Dirty
Yeah,
D.
Dirty D.
Yes.
You got the Secret Society.
Society,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mission that's
Yes,
coming out.
tomorrow.
It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazon.
So you got a lot of, you got Detroit, they active. Detroit's always been active, but I feel like right now Detroit is actually getting a lot of the credit that it been deserved
Yeah,
in certain areas. I mean, just look at hip hop.
Long overdue.
It's way long overdue.
definitely. You been on the red carpet interviewing everybody? And
Yeah,
everything? I saw
yeah,
you
yeah,
doing that thing
yeah.
out there too.
Yeah. I'm all around hustling.
Renaissance man.
Renaissance man.
Renaissance.
Well rounded.
Detroit.
Detroit, Pearson Avenue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I'm a Dexter girl.
Dexter. Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Oh my God.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that after the show. No, I'm just kidding.
How long you been riding bikes?
So I've been doing the bike thing. It's been what since '99.
Mm.
Yeah, I've been riding bikes since '99. So I'm 20, 24 years in.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, 24 years in. I got on a bike and I ain't look back.
I seen y'all shutting it down the other day.
Shut it down all the time.
They shut it down.
Lavish bike night, hottest thing in the city.
Oh wow!
Literally,
Damn,
the
just
hottest
lavish
thing in the city.
everything. Look.
Because I'm a brander.
Mhm.
You know, if I'm doing multiple things, yeah, I could have multiple names, but I ain't got time for all that. I ain't got time to tell you, hey, yeah, I got Lavish Towing. Oh yeah, I got this
Yeah.
John Doe car wash. No, when you talk lavish, when he talk lavish, it's all lavish.
Yeah.
It's all lavish.
It's a brand that I built.
Lavish means elaborate and
Yes.
luxurious.
You know it.
Something you can expect. Yes,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
You know.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, but I do the bike nights, in the summer for the bike community, and it's big. So much love to everybody that do come out to support me in the bike night. Plus, we need some place to go and have to ourselves. Detroit is changing so much, and I feel like Detroit is changing, and they not involving the people that's really from Detroit. They catering to everybody else that's from outside of Detroit. They're catering to them once they get inside of Detroit, and I feel like they forgetting about the real Detroiters. I'm part of the real Detroit.
They're bringing in a lot of commercialized people that are
Commercialized people. They bringing in. I mean, I don't want to talk about the type of people per se,
Right.
but I just feel like Detroit, they not representing for the home team.
Yes.
They not representing for the people from Pearson Avenue, from Dexter, the people
People
from
who
Mac.
always been here.
I feel like they slowly pushing everybody out. Just pay attention, they pushing people out.
Mhm.
Look at the whole Del Rey area. Keep up with the news and politics. Look, they want to build a bridge over there. That whole area, they cleaned that whole area up, wiped it all out. We're gonna take our money, we're gonna buy you out, we're gonna shift these people. So you got these people that own their homes, and their homes might not have been much, but it was theirs.
And they've been there forever.
Right.
So now you throw this money in their face, right? It's in their face, and they might not have a great sense of education when it comes down to finances.
Mhm.
So you say, hey, I got $50,000 to somebody that never had that kind of money.
Mhm.
They take that money, right? I got your property. Now you don't own your
property.
dwelling. So you got this $50,000 that goes very quickly. But you rent a new apartment or a house. You got to continue renting that.
Continuously.
Mhm.
You get pushed
Somebody
out.
else. Yes.
So yeah, that's how I feel about certain things in Detroit, man. Because I see it all the time. And I see it, and I speak on this with the bike community, as well as the car community. When I grew up in the '90s, what did we do? We went on Jefferson.
Mhm.
It didn't matter if we was in a traffic jam or not. We sat on Jefferson and we had the greatest time of our life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went on Belle Isle.
Mhm.
We was on the bridge, stuck in traffic. We could hang out the car. We could get out the car. We had fun.
Yeah.
We went on the strip. We had fun.
Yes.
Before we went to the back strip, we was on the front strip where the horse was at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The guy on the horse with the
Yeah.
kind of slide.
Yeah.
That was it. We had the greatest time of our life there.
Fun back
That
You
was
know what I'm
living.
saying?
Mhm.
That was living, we was having fun.
Living, having
We had the
good life.
West Side Gas. We was at Rouge Park.
Mhm.
Then we left from Rouge Park to come down to Belle Isle.
Yeah.
Come down to Jefferson and Shane. Then we had the East Side Gas. That was at Chandler Park.
Chandler Park. Mhm.
Then they come downtown.
Mhm.
And we just had a ball.
Yeah.
But now look at it. You can't go to the parks no more. When you do go to the park closed at dark, but you got police chasing people out by 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock.
Yes. Yes.
You come downtown, you can't hang out and do this because you got people that want to move downtown, where downtown is going to be noisy. So now it's a problem because, hey, the new neighbors are in and they're complaining about the noise.
Noise.
But you
Noise
move
by-
downtown.
That happens. That's
So,
This is
so
the
that's
city.
that's real life. You know what I'm saying? That's real life. So what happens? You push these people away. So now let's talk about violence, right? We want to avoid violence, right? It's a lot of violence going on, right? We don't have nowhere to go to exit that. So where we back at? We back in the neighborhood. We back in the hood. So what's going on in the hood? Tension.
Tension.
Before the tension could die down, because I could be hot right now, but by the time I go downtown and have some fun with my friends, I'm out the neighborhood, they out the neighborhood, it was a misunderstanding, it's all good. That's what it used to be at one point in time. Because I'm a guy that got into issues, got into problems in my neighborhood. The neighborhood talk about it. Come on, man, kill that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it was times where me and you could be in the hood, me and a homeboy in the hood, and we going at it, fighting, verbally, physical, or whatever. But then we still sitting on the other homie's porch.
Right.
Still mad, but then you got everybody else around, like, man, forget all that stuff.
Right. Squash that.
You know,
Law.
walking to the
Worth
store,
it.
mad. You know, so you take all these different things, right, that's going on in the city now. You're putting people in certain positions. And this is just my opinion. This is just the way I feel. Putting people in certain positions. I'm in the hood looking at you all day. Yeah, it could become, confrontational. Not for me at my age,
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah. What's going
Could.
on? Circling back to the bike night. Now, when is bike night and where is it? Is it at different locations or is it one spot just so people can know when it is bike night where they can come to?
Okay, so technically, my bike night originally started at my car wash. And it grew.
Lavish night at the car.
Lavish bike night. And it grew over the years. I also went and started to have my bike night at the Harley dealership because it's motorcycle based. So I'm at the dealership. The reason I'm not at the car wash because here we go again. They want to push people away. They took us away from the parks. They took us away from downtown. So I opened up my doors at the car wash. Now it's a problem over there. If it's not one thing, it's another. So they're trying to shift everybody from coming over there on motorcycles. It used to be a strip down the street. Everybody knew as a kid, at least for me, Livernois and Warren was where it was happening at. Well, I'm at Livernois and Joy Road. And I create a positive environment. No negativity, all great energy. But every week when I'm over there, I have the Detroit police come down there to try to shut me down. Every Wednesday when I'm over there.
They shut it down last night. I heard about
And the
that.
police resources that they use to shut down a bike night that has no shootings, no fights, no arguments, no robberies, no type of violence over there. They bring pretty much a whole police department over there.
Oh my God.
They took cars that lined up all 6 lanes of the street, lights and sirens trying to push everybody away. That adds tension to the people. How can we build community policing when we have a police that comes out there? Part of the biggest game.
That's crazy.
Because they shoot their power. They come with numbers. They intimidate the people that's there. We're going to take your vehicles. We're going to write your tickets. We're going to take you to jail. So people got to, see how they're going to fight their battles.
So is that one of the reasons that you ran for commissioner?
So I ran for police commissioner based off of the job description, oversight of the police department.
See?
But that had nothing to do with them coming to my bike night.
Right.
It's so funny that you mentioned that. Because after I ran and as I was running, that's when I got most of the problems. Before I ran for police commissioner, I didn't have no problems down there. The moment I ran for police commissioner, the host failed. Man, they were down there. Oh, Lavish, you got too many people down here. Oh man, you blocking traffic. Oh man, you causing this problem.
Yeah.
Oh man, we getting complaints. We getting this, and it's like a beef between me and the police.
So, we want to thank Lavish T for coming out to visit and talk with us today about
That's right.
many things. Thank you so much for visiting us with Kickinit with Keisha, KC, and Vonnie.
No, thank
Definitely
you. I
gonna
mean,
have to
thanks
have
for
you
having me.
back too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
to
yeah.
touch on a little bit more and talk about some other things you're doing in the city, how you give back and those types of things.
Yeah, I am a community guy.
Yeah.
I'm a strong community
A lot
guy.
of things
Let's
out
just
here.
touch up on Light Up the Night for a minute.
Yes.
So explain what Light Up the Night is.
So, Light Up the Night, that's not a lavish thing. That's
Okay.
someone else put that together.
Okay.
Okay, that's in the towing industry.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
I just take part of it,
Right.
and it's a great success.
Mhm.
And that is it started with the children that had autism. But then it just grew. At this point, I can't even say who it's targeted towards besides the children that's in the hospital
Right. They can't enjoy.
that can't enjoy Christmas. So, a gang of tow trucks from all over, not just Detroit, from all over the state and even as far as Ohio,
Mhm.
come. We meet up, we turn our lights on, and we ride to the Children's Hospital. We go to Children's Hospital, and when we go to Children's Hospital, you see so many different families, so many different kids that's looking out of the window.
Yeah.
And that's our way of giving back to those children, because some of those children, they might not even come out of the hospital. And that's a sad thing,
Yeah.
because they are ill.
Mhm.
And it's been a child or two that was looking out of the window one year, and the following year was not there to look out of the window.
Oh.
And these kids are under 10 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you for giving back in that way. All the tow truck drivers who come out and show our children some love during that time, but that's much appreciated. Just like you're appreciated for coming on the show tonight. We're definitely gonna have you back.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in, and we're gonna put together some more exciting shows for you. All right, so kicking it with Keisha, Vonnie, and KC. Mwah.
With Lavish.
Hey, with Lavish. One thing we learned from Lavish today: brand yourself.
No, you got to
That's
brand
what
yourself.
Brand
Brand
yourself.
yourself.
Definitely.
Okay.
Hey, it's gonna be Keisha everything.
Everything.
You know?
Okay. It's Bonnie. Queen Bonnie, y'all. That's
All
right.
right.
When you see it, just know.
That's what you
gotta
gotta know. Good night.